going at your own pace. I've learned over the last few months that there will always be external factors and circumstances that you're going to find yourself where you are not going to be able to have any control. And that naturally means it's going to have a knock on effect on your personal deliverables and how much you can achieve in a time frame if you're working towards a deadline. Over the last few months, I have been really struggling in being fully present so that I can crack on and move forward with my book writing journey. And because it is a memoir, for example, I'm having to really dig deep and dig into my past, remember things, reopen a can of worms, and relive those experiences as I try to write them so that I can bring out the best content. And that has meant since Christmas, for about 5 or 6 weeks, I just haven't been able to write. And I have deadlines when it comes to my book writing journal, to meet with my editor, with the publishers. And it's been a really traumatic experience because I've got this niggling thing in the back of my head, right? You need to crack on. But I can't force myself to sit on the laptop and type away. If I don't, it takes me a long while to get into the mood of writing on a normal day. So when I've had to write about difficult chapters in my life, I have really struggled to get back into the swing of things. That particular experience taught me actually it was my body and my soul's way of telling me I need to take a break. And we need to listen to when our body, our mind, and our soul tells us that we now's the time we can afford ourselves a break. I took like a 4 or 5 week um, break from that. I couldn't write, and then I stopped fighting it in week two, like thinking, why am I putting myself under so much pressure? More recently, I tested positive for COVID, and that knocked me out for 6. I was so unwell, literally deathbed unwell, could not move for 6 days. I was in absolute agony, absolute pain. I was constantly crying. I couldn't move off my bed for 6 days. That's how bad it was. Another situation I found myself in that I've got no control. I need to let my body heal naturally. I need to allow my body the time to get over some of the sort of primary symptoms and come out of the other end. Both these instances had a knock-on effect on my own personal deliverables, and it made me feel really crap at the beginning. And then I had to take stock thinking actually sometimes we go through these things and we need to listen to our bodies when they tell us it just needs a break and to slam the brakes on. So a couple of key learning points for me. Go at a pace that is suitable for you. Work at a pace that your body, your mind, your soul tells you, and allow those three things to be in sync. Secondly, when you are slowing down, there's going to be all this excess noise around you about why you're not at that pace. Just ignore that. Don't let it get to a stage where what I did was I let it get into my head and let it play in my mind and overwhelm me. Because that just tied me up in a knot, got me much more anxious. I was having anxiety attacks, and it didn't serve anybody well, least of all me. And number three, just be kind to yourself. I wasn't initially, but I had to be. I learned to be. Being kind to myself includes giving myself a break. Being kind to myself is to acknowledge that I'm not a machine and I can go at different pace or no pace at all, and that's absolutely fine. So, a couple of things that helped me overcome this anxiety I was feeling built up inside me is just to do those three things. And by doing that, I've come back feeling a lot better and rejigged what I need to be doing and reevaluated some of those unrealistic deadlines that I initially had placed on myself. So something to think about.